bad line. Alright, there we go. I walked it. Best not be beeping at me. People get out of their car, leave it run, go get their mail. People still do that. It's a female. There's so many things that could go wrong with what she just did, but hey, I ain't here to teach her anything. Get too hot to do this. There's very few places around here where you can have any privacy. You know, apartment complex. You would think that the courtyard is nice and quiet would be the best spot, but if you know anything about courtyards, you are literally the center of attention for anybody that wants to look out that window or hear anything. Woman's just now getting back to her car. I had enough time to go all the way around the complex once, one lap. And like most lapses of security or caution or reason, you can get away with it a lot of times. It's that one time you don't get away with it that is important to ever allow happen if you can. Alright, this is going to be just a brief thing about security, and the reason why is I overheard something this morning. There's a lot of people that walk their dogs, and in the morning I'm usually awake and I got my balcony door open because it's usually hotter inside than it is outside in the morning, and I'm trying to equalize the temperature and not have to run the air conditioning, cool off, and it's usually quiet. Well, this woman was walking her dog downstairs, and she met the new downstairs person that just moved in recently, and they're two women, older women. So they started talking about their life, or she started talking about her life, and how the woman that was walking the dog used to walk over by the dumpster where I throw my knife and everything else. But she said this is not me. She's talking about somebody else. There was this guy that kept trying to talk to her and everything, follow her around, everything, and he lives in the apartment complex. So I mean, that's another one of the things is, a lot of times people think about security as, what can I do to protect myself from an external threat? A lot of times the threat is closer than you think. And she kind of, it kind of got her on nerve because or the guy kept doing that. He would drink early in the morning, like 9 o'clock in the morning. He'd be out there, drinking and trying to talk to her. And she said one time he came up and he got real close up behind her and he smelled her hair. Well, male or female or anything else, if you ever get an alarm bell going off in your head, that creeps you out, listen to it. So she says she stops walking over there and she doesn't befriend the guy and everything. I found out a lot more about her personal life, that she works at an adult bookstore. Yeah, and so she's probably met her fair share of creepy types and stuff. So she probably knows a lot about uh, human behavior and stuff. But still, I was thinking, in the military, they have threat assessments. They used to do color code and everything, but you can kind of think of it like a traffic light. Green light means this is how aware of what you're going of everything around. You're completely off guard. You're relaxed. You don't expect really anything ever to happen. And a lot of people, if you're it depends on your occupation and what you do and everything. But you should probably never be totally in a fully green light situation. It should probably be some version of yellow, and of course, there we go. Red. Red means cautious. Now, there's a lot of variations, a lot of stuff that's going on in between, and each one has its advantages and disadvantages. And the main advantage to the green light mode is lack of stress and wear and tear on your nervous system. If you're always in red mode, you're gonna get burnt out. You're gonna get high blood pressure. I'm not a doctor. I'm not offering any medical advice. I'm not a self-defense expert. I'm not offering, or really, I'm just talking, about what I did. I don't know why we got to get into this. I'm not a robot. Prove that you're not a robot. No. Cut yourself. No, you can't do that. It's against terms. All right, well, how can we prove we're human? Well, let them figure that one out. But you can't always be in a high state of awareness, but if you step out of your green zone, you should shift gears. You should always usually shift gears, and it can happen really quick. And I'm talking about getting in or out of your car. You're already thinking about something else, or what you're going to do, what you're going to buy, whatever. A lot of times you're not aware of what you're doing. In or out of your apartment. I just walked past somebody when I was walking by, who, if I would have been of ill intent, they would have never heard me, because I heard her opening the door. It's the neighbor, the same one down below me. I heard her opening the door, and I was walking right through that breezeway. I could have diverted my route and everything, but I got nothing to hide. I'm just walking. I ain't doing anything wrong, so I'm going to keep walking. And she opened the door and stepped out. I didn't say anything to her, or anything like that. I didn't say hi, which would have, eased her mind or anything like that, because I don't want to get to know them, but as far as like awareness goes, also one time, little kids, they're more trusting and they're more innocent and everything else. And a little kid was out there with its mommy, and they were getting ready to get into a car. And the kids, kids are this way. They just do it. They go, hello, and I said, hello, and I just kept walking. And right away the mom said, what did I tell you about talking to strangers? And it's true. You hate it. I'm not a stranger. I'm not that one. But you have to start them off early, teaching them, hey, don't let your guard down. You can talk to mommy and daddy this way. But anybody else, don't just say hi to them. Just randomly do that. Some people reinforce that by scolding the crap out of everything. Hers was just kind of like a reminder, but it was like she was shocked that the kid, at the age of, I don't know, 6, 8, whatever she was, young, hadn't learned, adult lessons yet. Surprise, surprise. But, she's just being a mom, the kid's just being a kid, and I'm just being a person that's walking along. I'm not that stranger, but I could have been. And so rather than take the risk, she's at least throwing her into, hey, get out of that green mode and start thinking red. And that's bad, because really, it's good and it's bad. if society was so trusting and everything and was so nice, you could stay in green mode all the time. You wouldn't worry about anything. It'd be idyllic, you know, like an island life, tropical paradise or something, you know, from an old back in the day when you think about it or something, where life is really good and everything. Well, you know, in those movies, the tropical paradise is usually whoever conquered the paradise and exploited the people and the riches and everything. They're living it up. But the people that are, you know, laughing, they're bit extras in the movie. A lot of times, they aren't even native people, and if they are, they're getting paid a good sum to act like they're happy native people. No, I don't have a liberal agenda or anything like that. It's just reality. I mean, it's just the way, you know, things a lot of times happen. Um, but it depends on where you're at in society on a lot of stuff, you know. It depends on which side you're on. And if it doesn't apply equally, then you're not in a society that you can really trust, you know. If life isn't as good for the people on the very low end as it is for the very upper end, then something's wrong. And of course, that's always going to be that way. The rich are always going to have better cars, better food, better clothing, better everything, you know. And a lot of times they're not going to be afraid to show it. They're going to flaunt it. But hey, I'm not here to solve that. I'm just talking about security, walking around, and no matter what age you are or where you're at and everything, you should have some kind of system awareness so that you can switch stuff on and off. Because if you stay in these heightened awareness modes for too long, I mean, it's going to burn you out. You're going to get paranoid. You're not going to be happy in life, you know. And you gotta. But really, for me, as far as like in my apartment is really the only place where I can really talk a little bit without somebody overhearing me and being judgmental. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I would sit down and like the ending of every video I have, like that barbecue pit area. It's nice. It's got tables, you know. I could sit out there. I've heard conversations from my apartment from right here. Not really, you know, super loud, but I mean, I've heard regular conversations. And even though this is going up, you know, to the public and to the whole world, when I'm talking, I like to be able to not think that I have to phrase everything for everyone listening, even though it's, you know, it's irony. It's going up publicly to the whole world, and anybody could listen, even people that, you know. But the more anonymous it is, the better, you know. They're not local people that are going to be judgmental. Not that I worry or care a lot about that stuff. It's just that's why it's called private. You know, you have a private life. Yeah, sometimes you have a private life. Sometimes that happens. And if you can get that, you try to maintain it. But like I said, places where you can throw a knife and not. Here, somebody's been stalking her, you know, and then later on she sees another guy, you know, at odd hours. I don't drink and stuff, but I mean, still, imagine if I had been drinking and I just said hi to her and she smelled the alcohol on my breath. Already, she would lump me in with, you know, the weird pervert that sniffs her hair, you know. I'm never going to get close to somebody that I don't know, or even if I do know. I mean, you know, that's just, I respect people's privacy and boundaries, and some people don't. And the whole thing about security is because there are people out there that don't respect whatever yours is, whatever your boundary is. I would never do this. There are people out there that would do that. I would never attack. Yeah, there are people that would, you know. And the more vulnerable you are, old, female, young, or whatever, the more likely you're going to run into those types. And you just have to be aware of what to do, you know. Like if you're getting outside your door and you get frightened because someone's coming up, if they pay any attention to you at all, like they're focusing in on you, they're looking at you or anything, you should switch modes automatically if you haven't already into a different state, you know. Not Clint Eastwood or whoever's your favorite, you know, action hero or whatever, and you know, you feel lucky, punk, you know, but not necessarily super friendly either. It's okay to be cautious, you know, to step back inside and lock your door. You may feel bad about yourself later on, and if you see that person, you might apologize or whatever, but you don't have to. You know, trust your instinct. You know, maybe you were overreacted because she just recently moved in here and everything, and she doesn't know everybody around here. She didn't do that. She continued to, you know, open her door, lock it. She was going somewhere, I guess. But yeah, um, it's bad that we have to be in the state. It used to be only if you're in the military or law enforcement or, you know, a really high risk type of job or something. Would you have to even, you know, worry about something like this? The rest of the time, if you were just a civilian in whatever country you're in, you could expect to lead pretty much a civilian life. You know, you're occasionally going to run into crime and situations, but most of the time, you're not. Those days are long gone. Those places, you know, are long gone. You shouldn't do, if you're a female or a male or anyone, you shouldn't leave your car running and go in and say, I'm just going to get this or that, and not expect anything bad to come out of it. You should be surprised if you get back in and you don't have somebody waiting in the back seat, or your car is gone, or whatever. You should not be surprised if that happens. Because that can happen anywhere. There are people that don't have what you have that are jealous of you, and there's opportunities also, you know, that any opportunity they see, they're going to take it. And that's an opportunity for someone. Now, it all depends on the moral character of the person that's walking by when they see that. This person right here is expecting everybody to be of outstanding character. And most people are. Really. I mean, admittedly, you know, most people are. But you're not worried about most people in this situation. As bad as it is, you know, you're worried about some type of people. And the only one of the best ways you can protect yourself is understand where they're coming from. Start thinking about their thought process. What their priorities are, not yours. And once you start understanding, you don't have to agree with it, support it, and all this other stuff. You just have to understand it. And then be aware. So, yeah. Enough of me on my soapbox. I need a drink anyway. Of some liquid refreshment, but not necessarily an adult beverage. Not that I got anything against that. I mean, you can do that, but again, like I said, I have enough problems with lowered inhibitions already. I don't need alcohol helping me. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.